Coach Ballard, the assistant coach of the Amityville Warriors. You are watching Warrior Wrestling on the Amityville Broadcast Network.
With a young group gaining valuable experience each match, the Amityville Warriors wrestling team returns home for a contest versus Mount Sinai. The Mustangs bring one of the best programs in Suffolk County, so it will not be an easy task for the Warriors. Can Amityville get their first win of the season, or will Mount Sinai be too high to climb? It's time to hit the mats now on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. And good afternoon, and thank you for joining us here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. I'm Matt Grice, and we have quite the day for you here, as first we bring you coverage of Warrior Wrestling versus the Mount Sinai Mustangs, and that will be followed by Senior Night. The Amityville girls varsity basketball team, as they get set to honor their seniors tonight, they will be taking on the Sayville Golden Flashes, the seniors for the Warriors that we will honor later on, Isabella Cherry and Quanasia Anthony. But right now, the talk is all about wrestling, as Mount Sinai is warming up on the mats, and we are a few minutes away from starting here on the campus of Amityville Memorial High School. This match taking place in the brand new gymnasium on the wrestling match that features the 2003 Section 11 championship logo that is imprinted on the wrestling mats. Quite an amazing feat that this season is even taking place for Amityville, for Mount Sinai, for everybody in Section 11 in New York State, and probably across the country as well. Of course, with COVID-19 protocols, wrestling being a close contact sport, this was going to be a tough challenge to be able to get it in. But because of strict rules with the COVID protocols, strict testing by both teams, here we are. Both of these teams look like they're en route to finishing their seasons, and both looking to do so with a bang. So let's talk about Amityville for a little bit. This is a young team, the Amityville Warriors. They have not won an overall contest yet this year, as they are 0-4, but they have had several individual match wins throughout their shortened season, and again, a modified season due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Warriors, well, they're mostly made up of 10th graders. There's only 2 seniors on the Amityville Warriors wrestling team. And according to Coach Fallett, who I was speaking to before the match, he said, you know, this is a year that really focuses on being a learning experience for this Amityville program. And being that they have a lot of 10th graders wrestling on a varsity level, he fully expects that next year this team will be ready to take the next step. It's been a little tough this year so far, but there are some players that we can highlight here. Walter Lopez, he'll be wrestling at the light heavyweight, 215. Jaden Epps, he is the Warriors heavyweight wrestler today. And Nathan Santiago, he'll be wrestling at 118. All 3 of these players are the ones to look out for today, as actually in their last match, which was yesterday against a ranked team in Islip, Nathan Santiago lost a very, very close, highly competitive match, and would be considered by Coach Fallett to be the star of the day despite the loss. So he has a bright future, looking for a big win today for the Warriors. Amityville's coached by head coach Jamal Jackson, also the assistant coach Pat Fallett. And they are looking to make some noise here as this team continues to grow, but they face a pretty big challenge against the Mount Sinai Mustangs. Taking a look at Mount Sinai last year, Mount Sinai was ranked 15th in the county, so they have a very good program. They are highlighted by 2 really, really good wrestlers. Last year, Mike O'Brien finished 3rd in New York State, wrestling at 138 pounds, and also finishing 3rd in New York State was Braden Farbach, and he was able to do that wrestling in the 99-pound weight class. Let's go over some rules for you before we get underway here. Of course, there will be 3 2-minute periods. Usually there's a short break, a 30-second break in between each period, but due to the fact that everybody's trying to move things along here, Those breaks will probably be shortened. And of course, at the beginning of the match, both teams will start on their feet. In the second period, there'll be a coin toss to determine if they're going to continue on their feet or if there will be a top-bottom start or neutral on their feet. Points. For those of you new to wrestling, a takedown is 2 points. That will be signaled by the official raising an armband. The left arm has the red armband on it. That will represent points for the Amityville Warriors. And the right armband, which is a green armband, that will represent points for the Mount Sinai Mustangs. So again, a takedown is equal to 2 points. An escape is 1 point. A reversal counts as 2 points. Back points are 2 or 3 points, depending on how long you can keep your opponent on his back for. 3 seconds will result in 2 points, and 5 points, or 3 points will be awarded for 5 seconds on your back. So we are a few minutes away from getting started. Both teams are completing their warm-ups. Mount Sinai has already weighed in. Amityville getting their official weigh-ins right now. Of course, that's important to determine who's going to wrestle where today and making sure everything is fair and where it needs to be. You can see on the mats right now, everybody getting set. Again, close proximity, but with COVID rapid testing done for both teams as they prepare, everybody should be safe, ready to go. Despite that, wearing the masks anyway. And the masks are an interesting factor, as when we covered track a few weeks ago, indoor track, winter track, which was being done outside due to the COVID-19 protocols, it was very difficult for a lot of these athletes to run in the cold weather with the mask on. Wrestling can be pretty exhausting, even though the rounds are only 2 minutes each. That's why in boxing you get 3-minute rounds, in UFC fighting you get 5-minute rounds. It's exhausting. So it'll be interesting to see if players choose to wear their masks while they wrestle, how that might affect their breathing and their stamina as they get through their 3 rounds. We want to remind you, please hit the subscribe button on the Amityville Broadcasting Network's YouTube page as we are in our quest to reach 1,000 subscribers. That will give us the opportunity to bring more features and to continue with our coverage for the different sports and events here at Amityville Memorial High School and throughout the school district. Upcoming events, as we mentioned, it's going to be a busy day here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network, as a little later on I'll be joined by Godfrey Pons and Greg Dickerson as we bring you senior night for the Amityville Lady Warriors, the girls varsity basketball team, as they take on the Sayville Golden Flashes. And the Warriors, the girls basketball team, they will be looking for their first win of a shortened season. The Lady Warriors playing just an 8-game season due to COVID-19, and they have yet to win. They are 0-6 on the season, and if you go back to last year, they are currently riding a 12-game losing streak. The Warriors came up short against Wyandanch a week ago during the President's Week break. Wyandanch was actually the last win that the girls varsity basketball team had, but that was in winter of 2020. Again, we're just a few minutes away from starting. The Warriors have completed their weigh-ins. They're getting their final instructions from their coaching staff as they prepare to take the mats. Mount Sinai continues to warm up right in front of us here. Also tonight, the Amityville boys basketball team, they will be on the road at Sayville as they're trying to keep their undefeated season alive. The Amityville Warriors boys basketball team, their expectation is to make the playoffs, and it looks like that's going to happen, as Wednesday will be their senior night. They will honor 5 seniors here at Amityville Memorial High School, and we will have full coverage of that. Tip-off is at 4 o'clock, but we will go on the air ahead of time for a 3:50 pregame show, and we will also have a special behind-the-scenes interview with those 5 seniors, as well as Coach Gordon Thomas. So please tune in for that on Wednesday afternoon. But today, we have plenty to bring you. Again, as Mount Sinai, they have finished their warm-ups, having a final pep talk in the center of the mat. Warriors doing the same thing all the way to the far left of the gymnasium under where the basketball hoop would be had it been lowered for a game. So with just a couple minutes to go before we get started, we are going to step aside just for a moment here. And when we come back from this break, we'll bring you wrestling right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
Si está enfermo con el COVID-19 o cree que podría haberlo contraído, tome medidas para ayudar a proteger a las personas para que no se enfermen. Quédese en casa, excepto para buscar atención médica. Llame al médico antes de ir. Apártese de las demás personas que vivan con usted. Use una mascarilla para proteger a los demás. Cúbrase la nariz y la boca con un pañuelo desechable cuando tosa o estornude y lávese las manos inmediatamente. Evite compartir artículos con otras personas de su casa. Esto incluye toallas y sábanas, por ejemplo. Asegúrese de que los platos se laven en agua caliente o en la lavadora automática de platos antes de que alguien más los use. Preste atención a cómo se siente. Si empieza a tener dificultad para respirar o está preocupado por su salud, llame al médico. Para más información visite cdc.gov/coronavirus-es.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. I'm here to warn you about telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Some of these scammers may say threatening things like you will be arrested if you don't make payments or provide personal information. Do not fall for these tricks. These calls are not from us. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you for information or money. If you receive a call like this, hang up. Never give the caller your personal information, like your Social Security number or bank account, or send money in any form, cash, gift cards, wire transfers, or prepaid debit cards. Report the call to our law enforcement arm, the Office of the Inspector General, at oig.ssa.gov. Share this information with your friends and family.
And we are back and ready to go here at Amityville Memorial High School as we get set to bring you Warriors Wrestling between Amityville and the Mount Sinai Mustangs. Matt Grice here with you on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. The weigh-ins are done, the instructions have been given, and we are all set to hit the mats. First up will be 172-pound weight class. Tristan Hard will be wrestling for Mount Sinai, or actually, I take that back. It looks like the 160-pound will be first. So Kevin Goodrich will be wrestling for Mount Sinai, and Kevin Molina will be his opponent for the Amityville Warriors. We will also see the 172-pound weight class, 189, 215, heavyweight, 99, 110, 118, 126, 132, 138, 145, and 152. And then that will be followed by 4 JV wrestling matches, which we will carry on here for you as well. That will be a 110 weight class, 152, 172, and 189. All right, the Kevins have made their way to the mat. Kevin Goodrich, the decided height advantage. Kevin Molina, lower center of gravity. The officials give the go-ahead. They shake hands, and we are underway. First round. No score yet. 1:47 to go in the first round. 2 points awarded to Mount Sinai. Molina's in trouble, trying to get to his feet. 1:35 to go, first round. Now Molina turns things around. He's able to get a takedown. 2 points for the Warriors, so we're tied up at 2. And we get a whistle as both players are out of the gray area, out of bounds. 1:24 to go here in the first period. Two to two's the score. Kevin Goodrich, he's on the bottom. Molina on top. Molina trying to flip Goodrich to his back. Goodrich able to turn around, trying to get to his feet. And now we have 2 points awarded to Mount Sinai as Goodrich is able to get Molina on his back, but Molina able to flip back over to his stomach. Under a minute to play in the first period. 2 points awarded to Mount Sinai. Goodrich continues to work Molina. 37 seconds left in period number 1. Goodrich trying to turn Molina over onto his back. Molina trying to flip over Goodrich. Now Molina's flipped over, put in a headlock, and looking for a pin. And they get it. Kevin Goodrich with 21.3 seconds to go in the first period. Goodrich with the pin over Kevin Molina. So the 160-pound weight class goes to Mount Sinai. So the Warriors don't get out of the first period in the first match. Second match, this will be the 172-pound weight class. Tristan Hard for Mount Sinai and Matt Buskey for the Warriors. Both wrestlers square off. 2 points awarded on the takedown for Mount Sinai. Buskey able to get back to his feet. Hard goes for another takedown. 2 more points for the Mustangs. Hard flipping over Buskey. Buskey appears to be in a little bit of trouble. 1:20 to go in the first period of the 172-pound match. Buskey on his stomach. Hard trying to flip him over. Buskey trying desperately to get to his feet, unable to do so. 1 minute to go here in the first period. Hard continues to have dominant position over Buskey. Trying to flip him over. 44 seconds to go in period number 1. Buskey crawling towards the edge of what's in bounds, and now both players get up to their feet and go flying out of bounds, so we'll have a restart. 25.8 seconds to go in period number 1. So both players will reset in the center of the mat. Buskey will be on the bottom. He's able to get to his feet, but Hard quickly going for the takedown. Both players out of bounds, and we'll get another restart. 21.9 seconds to go in period number 1. Again, Buskey will be on the bottom. Buskey trying to get to his feet. Instead, he's flipped around, looking for the pin. Officials are checking the shoulders. Buskey's in trouble. Now he's able to flip over onto his stomach. 7 seconds left in period 1 as 3 points are awarded to Mount Sinai. 1 second left, and Matt Buskey survives round number 1. They will take a very quick breather as we get set for period number 2. So period number 2 has begun. Both wrestlers on their feet right now. It's a 7-1 lead for Mount Sinai here in the 172-pound match. Buskey goes for the takedown. Hard able to fight it off. Buskey, good position on top. Hard trying to grab hold of Buskey's right leg and turn things around. 1:13 to go in period number 2 of the 172-pound match. Buskey back to his feet. Hard trying to do the same thing. Now both wrestlers back down to the mat. And we get a whistle with 58.7 seconds left. And we will get a restart. Mustangs still out in front, 7-1. Both players start in neutral position. Hard with the headlock. Gets Buskey to the ground. Both players barely in bounce. Looking for the pin. 38 seconds to go, period number 2. The officials are looking. Buskey in trouble. Able to roll slightly to his right side. Desperately trying to get out of Hard's hold. 20 seconds to go in period number 1. And we get a whistle. And a pin is called. So Tristan Hard wins his 172-pound match against Matt Buskey. So the Mustangs are 2-0 to start off here, and that brings us now to the 189-pound match. Chris Goodrich will be wrestling for the Mustangs, and Anthony Rubio Cruz for the Warriors. 2 minutes back on the clock as we start period number 1. Both athletes waiting to make their move. Now they lock up. Breaking apart. Judging each other to see who's going to make the first move. And it's Rubio Cruz who tries to go for the takedown. Goodrich able to fight him off. Goodrich trying to flip Rubio Cruz over. Rubio Cruz able to get the back of Goodrich. Goodrich trying to turn things around. He's able to do so. Rubio Cruz in trouble. 2 points awarded both to Amityville and to Mount Sinai. Rubio Cruz gets back to his stomach as Goodrich has his back. Approaching the 1 minute mark of period number 1 in the 189-pound weight class. Rubio Cruz back to his knees. Goodrich with his right arm around, and he's going to get 3 points for Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai goes up 5-2. 45 seconds to go in period number 1. Rubio Cruz trying to get to his feet. Goodrich doesn't allow that to happen. Now Goodrich mounting the back of Rubio Cruz. 23 seconds to go, period number 1. 5-2, Goodrich leads Rubio Cruz. Rubio Cruz trying to shake Goodrich off his back. 5 seconds left in period number 1. Rubio Cruz almost to his feet. Now he's back down to his elbows, and period 1 comes to a close. Close match so far as both athletes take a really short breather here as they try to move things along in the 189-pound weight class. Right now, Chris Goodrich of Mount Sinai is leading Anthony Rubio Cruz 5-2. Period number 2. And we're off. Rubio Cruz in some trouble as Goodrich has him almost on his back. Officials checking the shoulders. Rubio Cruz trying to hang on, desperately trying to turn back over. Gain a position of strength. Goodrich using his body weight to keep Rubio Cruz down. 1:32 to go 7-2, Mustangs in front. And we get a whistle and a pin. So at 1:29 of the second period, Chris Goodrich pins Anthony Rubio Cruz in the 189 weight class. And on the day, the Mustangs are 3-0. We want to remind you, if you're watching us today on the Amityville Broadcasting Network, please subscribe to our YouTube channel as we are nearing our quest for 1,000 subscribers. Lady Warriors basketball coming up at 6 p.m. Pre-game show will start at 5:50 right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Warriors right now, they are 0-3 on the day, as now the 215-pound weight class will be forfeited by Mount Sinai as they don't have a wrestler today. So Walter Lopez will get the win by forfeit. That brings us to the heavyweight match. Alex Day will wrestle for Mount Sinai, and Jaden Epps for the Warriors. Both wrestlers meet at the middle of the match, and the official gives them the go-ahead, and we're underway. Period 1 of the heavyweight battle between Epps and Day. Both players lock up right in the middle. Outside the circle now into the gray. Day trying to pull Epps to the floor. He backs off. They relock up center of the circle. 1:37 to go in period number 1. Day goes for the first takedown. Doesn't work. They break apart. Day and Epps back to the center of the circle. Both athletes locked up. 1:15 to go, period number 1. They break apart. And we get a whistle. And we will have a restart with 1:12 on the clock. No score here in this heavyweight match so far between Alex Day and Jaden Epps. Both players lock up center of the circle. Day pushes Epps into the gray. And they break apart. Under a minute to go in period number 1. Day and Epps lock up again, center of the circle. Day goes for the takedown. Doesn't get it. Has position over Epps. Trying to get a score here. And Epps able to break out of it. 35 seconds to go in period number 1. Both athletes once again lock up, center of the circle. Neither athlete able to get a takedown so far. $20 seconds to go in period 1. Now going for the takedown is Day, but instead both athletes go out of bounds, and we will get a restart with 19.5 seconds to go here in period number 1 of the heavyweight weight class match. This time Day comes out a lot more aggressively, but pushes Jaden Epps out of bounds, and we'll get another restart. 14.1 seconds on the clock. No score here in period number 1. Both players locked up, 5 seconds to go, period 1. And that's where things will end after one period between the heavyweights Alex Day and Jaden Epps of Amityville. There is no score as neither player hit the mat during the first period. Real quick breather. Jaden Epps will be on the bottom. Epps trying to quickly get to his knees. And he's taken down as Day uses his body weight. He's on Epps' back. 1:45 to go in period number 2. Still no score here in this heavyweight battle. Epps trying to gain some better position as Day able to get a back mount. Day trying to put on a move, score some points here. Epps able to wiggle out of it. And now we get a whistle and a restart as the official wanted to make sure Jaden Epps didn't have his shoulder hyperextended, dislocated. So the restart will once again be with Epps on the bottom Day on the top, 1:18 to go in period number 2. Still no score here in this heavyweight match. Period 1 consisted of both athletes remaining on their feet. Epps has been stuck on the bottom pretty much entire period number 2, but with 1:05 remaining, Epps able to get back to his feet, and Day pushes him out of bounds. So Epps will once again be on the bottom, Day on the top. 59 seconds to go in period number 2. Still no score in the heavyweight battle, and it looked like Epps was going down, but no points awarded. Epps able to stay on his feet. Day has his back, using his body weight to his advantage. 40 seconds to go in period number 2. Still no score. Day desperately trying to drag Epps to the mat, and now both athletes get to their feet, and Amityville gets a point. Epps with a 1-0 lead as both athletes approach the edge of the circle. Now they're back to the center of the gray. 15 seconds to go in period number 2. Epps able to stay in bounds. Day and Epps lock up. 7 seconds left. Epps going for a move, and that's where we'll end it in period number 2. Only point awarded so far in this match goes to Jaden Epps of Amityville, as he was able to get to his feet after relentless pressure by Alex Day throughout most of period number 2. Period number 3 will start with Day on the bottom and Epps on the top, as both players breathing heavy. Day looking to get to his feet. Epps has Day in an arm lock. Now Epps from behind. Both athletes center of the circle. Day trying to get Epps off of his back. 1:40 to go in the third and final period. Amityville holding on to a 1-0 lead in the heavyweight match. Epps trying to get Day over onto his stomach. Day continues to fight Epps. 1:20 to go, period 3. Day tries to get to his feet as both athletes slide to the left towards the center of the gray. One minute remaining in the match, period 3. Amityville clinging to a 1-0 lead. It's Jaden Epps and Alex Day in the heavyweight weight class match. Both athletes inch closer to the edge of the circle. 45 seconds to go in the match. If Epps can keep Day on the mat, he can get the win. Day trying to get to his feet or to turn things around. Under 30 seconds to go in the match. Now Epps has a back mount on Alex Day. You can hear coaching from both players and coaches on both sides here, rooting these two on. We are under 10 seconds to go here in period number 3. Epps clinging to a 1-0 lead. 5 seconds left. Epps looking to hold his position, and time expires, and the Warriors will win by points. So Jaden Epps gets the heavyweight win by a score of 1-0 over Alex Day. Both players retreat to their respective sidelines. So to recap, Mount Sinai has wins in the 160, 172, and 189-pound weight class so far. The Warriors, Walter Lopez, able to get a win via forfeit in the 215-pound weight class. And what we just witnessed, the heavyweight battle between Alex Day and Jaden Epps, Amityville with a narrow 1-0 win by points. All of Mount Sinai's wins have been via the pin. So that will bring up the 99-pound weight class. Matt Cuccinello. And we are underway. All right, both athletes scrambling here in the 99-pound weight class. Cuccinello has the upper hand right now. 1:23 to go in period number 1. To the edge of the red circle as we approach the 1-minute mark of period number 1. Right now, Mount Sinai with a 2-0 lead here in the 99-pound match. Cuccinello able to score 2 points and 2 more points as we are under a minute here in period number 1. $40 seconds to go. And Amityville struggling here. Under 30 seconds to go, period number 1. Mustangs with a 6-0 lead as the Warriors try to get back to their feet. 15 seconds left. Under 10. San Diego wrestling for the Warriors. And that'll do it for period number 1 in the 99-pound weight class. So we are now in period number 2. 1:48 to go. 6-0 right now in the 199-pound weight class. Here is a trip for Matt Cuccinello. And Mink Santiago, once again on his stomach. Cuccinello has the back of San Diego. 1:25 to go in period number 1. San Diego still looking for his first points. He's in trouble, trailing 8-0. Official watching the shoulders. 1:10 to go, period number 2. San Diego in an awkward position, and we get a pin. So Mint Santiago falls to Matt Cuccinello in the 99-pound weight class via pin. So Mount Sinai gets their 4th win of the day, all via the pin. That comes at 1:03 of the 2nd period. Now on to the 110-pound weight class. Benny Franquiz. He will wrestle for Mount Sinai. Both wrestlers are underway here as they move quickly to the edge of the gray circle, and 2 points are quickly awarded to Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai, one of the better programs here in Suffolk County. Amityville in the middle of a rebound. A good young team, mainly composed up of 10th graders as we hit the 1.5 minute mark here of period number 1. Even though this is a shortened season, all this experience really matters as the Warriors are in trouble right now, trying to avoid the pin. So we get a whistle and a pin Jason Caponellin falls to Derek Menachino. So that was actually the 126-pound weight class. And Mount Sinai gets their 5th win, all via the pin. So now we are in the 132-pound match. Stephen Boscanero wrestling for Mount Sinai. Dante Rigsby for the Warriors. And now we bring on a special guest, Billy Mizell, a wrestling coach. And he can break down what's going on for us here a little bit more about the specific moves and everything else. Coach Mizell, how are you? Thanks for joining us here today.
Doing a great thing with this. We got Mr. Rigsby for Amityville. Right now we have a 0-0 match score. Both guys are kind of feeling each other out.
Under a minute to play here in the first period.
Shot by Mount Sinai. Rigsby with a defense. Still no points. Rigsby trying to clear his leg here. Still no points.
30 seconds to go here in period number 1.
No points yet. Rigsby fights out of that nice. Looking to score some points of his own here.
Under 20 to go in the 132-pound match. 10 seconds, still no score.
There's 2 points for the Mount Sinai wrestler, just about at the buzzer.
So 2-0 at the end of period 1 in the 132. Stephen Boscanario and Dante Rigsby for the Warriors. I was talking to Coach Fowler before the match, and he talked about how this was a young team, a lot of 10th graders. How much does a match like this against a really good Mount Sinai team help them grow and prepare for next year?
Well, what it does is it gets them used to kind of being out there with the big dogs. You know, if you're out there and you're wrestling people that you're better than and you're just beating them up every day, you're not really making yourself better. Just like any sport, you want to play and compete against the best that there is. Rigsby in the scramble. Rigsby started on bottom. Rigsby now gets a reversal, and he's looking for back points, which I think he's going to get. So Rigsby will get 2 for a reversal and 2 back points.
So Warriors take a 4-2 lead, 125 to go here in period number 2 of the 130-pound weight class, and we get a whistle.
So what Rigsby did, Coach Mr. Grice, is he did what's called a full Nelson, which is an illegal move. I'm sure you've heard some wrestling terminology with the half Nelson. Well, you're allowed to do a half Nelson, you just can't do a full Nelson. The difference is a half you use one hand, obviously full is 2.
So it looks like we have a timeout as both coaches talking it over with their athletes. We are still in period number 2, a minute 23 to go, and Rigsby has a slim 4-3 lead over his opponent for Mount Sinai, Stephen Boscanario. So far, Mount Sinai, 5 wins, all by the pin. Warriors have 2 wins of their own. One of them, Walter Lopez, in the 215. That was via forfeit. And one, Jaden Epps, in the heavyweight over Alex Day.
Yeah, I think what's happening here, they do, I think Mount Sinai might have blood time, which is a 5-minute clock. And it's, once they control the bleeding, then they stop the clock. But Rigsby had a nice reversal, and he had a nice opportunity to have the Mount Sinai wrestler on his back. What he needed to do, he just needed to settle down a little bit and that will help him, control himself as well as the other opponents. So now Rigsby's starting in the up position in what we call referee's position.
1:19 to go. Rigsby hanging on to a 4-3 lead.
Rigsby trying to work this bar on turn. Putting the pressure on. Boscarino seems to be fighting it pretty well. Rigby's got to watch his weight that he doesn't get too high up on top. See, he just put himself in a bad position. What he needs to do is he needs to get out of bounds, and that worked in the benefit for Rigsby.
43 seconds to go here in period at number 2, 132-pound weight class. Amityville hanging on to a 4-3 lead. And it looks like we're getting another timeout here. I wonder if another injury timeout.
Yeah, I think it's, that now there's blood on the mat.
And you forget about things like that. Everybody's so concerned with COVID and everything.
Yeah, you forget about the things that has been around forever. The blood time and the cleaning the mat and stuff like that. The way blood time works is it's a 5-minute clock, and once they quote unquote control the bleeding or stop the bleeding, if it's a bloody nose or something like that, the clock stops. But believe it or not, there's been times in the past, not often, but their kids had a default because they couldn't stop a bloody nose or something of that matter.
So the trainer's getting their money's worth.
Oh,
in
for
this
sure.
match.
With this match, they definitely are getting their money's worth. Definitely.
This has got to be exciting for you to be seeing wrestling in a year where nobody knew if any sports would take place, let alone such a close contact sport as
phenomenal. It's phenomenal. I talked to Mr. Farkas. I talked to Coach Jackson, and they were telling me all the rules that are going on and all that stuff. And my first instinct was, what are you kidding me? And then I just decided, you know what? Hey, we got wrestling. We'll take it.
All right, we're set to resume here. 41 seconds remaining in period 2.
Remains on top. Sorry, Mr. Grice.
Oh, it's all good. 4-3, Amityville in front. Matt Grice, Billy Mizell here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
Rigsby still in control.
20 seconds to go. Hanging on to that 1-point lead for the Warriors.
Rigsby's now he's got what they call a half Nelson. He's got to be careful, make sure he holds on to that other wrist.
10 seconds.
Rigsby's got to be careful with that. He could get hit with a stalling warning. Looks like we got another blood time.
Give credit to Steven Boscanario. He keeps going, doesn't matter, and we're still in period number 2 right now.
What?
As with 6.2 seconds left, the Warriors clinging to a 4-3 lead, looking for their second official win, not by the forfeit. Warriors do have a win via the forfeit. That was Walter Lopez in the 215-pound weight class.
Now, in this situation, Matt, what needs to happen is Rigsby pretty much needs to kind of just ride out this period. He's got 6.2 seconds left. If he could ride out this period, he'll be going into the third period with a 4-3 lead. And if I'm not mistaken, it will be his choice in the third period, and most likely his coaches will put him in the bottom position, hoping for an escape, which makes him now up 5-3. But it's very important for him to continue riding Mr. Boscanario, nice Italian name. It's very important he continues riding him out this period because, in wrestling we call it a free point. You give someone a point with 6 seconds left. There's, you got to be able to hold on for 6 seconds. So we'll see. We'll see if he could do it.
Now, very little break time in between the periods, but now we've had 3 stoppages because of blood on the mat.
Correct.
Does that give anybody an advantage or disadvantage?
Well,
here?
you know, it's funny you say that because, you know, you would think, oh, now the guy on the bottom, he's getting a rest. Well, so is the guy on the top. You know what I mean? So it's I would say it's probably not going to benefit either one of them as far as conditioning. What it will benefit a little bit is, even though you're really not supposed to, but you could see Dante is getting some advice and some pointers from his coaches. So whereas if he was still on the mat, his coaches would have to be screaming that. Who knows if he's going to hear it? So this is a big 6 seconds for Dante.
And we are ready to resume. 6.2 to go in period number 2. Dante Rigsby up 4-3.
Stay on top. No, stay. Good. That was an excellent job.
And that'll do it. 2 in the books, 1 to go here between Rigsby and Boscanario. Rigsby holding on to the 4-3 lead and wasting no time getting right back into it.
Yeah. All right. Well, they tricked me with the choice of where they put him. He's on his feet. Rigsby needs to keep up with his offense here.
.140 to go in the 3rd and final period. They clinch up. Nobody really going for a move here yet.
Rigsby takes a nice shot right on the edge. In wrestling, we call that shooting a man out. Lets the ref, kind of fools the ref into thinking you're being a little more offensive than you really are. Although, realistically, Rigsby needs to keep on his offense. He can't, a 1-point lead is nothing to coast with,
It's tight. Score remains 4-3. Rigsby trying to get a natural win for his team.
He needs to come up. He needs to get his back to the center because the ref could be looking to call him for stalling.
1 minute remaining.
He needs to watch his head here.
So with 50.2 seconds left in the 3rd and final period, we are going to get a restart. Rigsby still up 4-3 over Boscanario.
Rigsby doing a good job of controlling those wrist of Boscarino, preventing him from taking a shot. Rigsby probably wants to get out of that position, which he did, which was great.
Under 30 seconds to go. Rigsby still holding on by that 1 point.
He needs to get up.
.15 seconds to go. Both players remain locked up.
Rigsby needs to stay there, stay on the edge.
We'll get a restart. 9.3 seconds to go here in period number 3. Some final advice being yelled in by Rigsby's coaches.
Yeah, they're telling him just stay aggressive on your defense. That was a great job by Rigsby. That little sprawl getting his leg down won the match right there for Rigsby. If he gets taken down, he loses 5-4.
So great job by Dante Rigsby to hold on and win the 132-pound match over Steven Boscanario. And again, thank you so much for spending your Monday evening with us here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Matt Grice, Billy Mizell, and a reminder, right after this, 6 o'clock tip, 5:50 pregame show, the Lady Warriors, girls varsity basketball, will have all the coverage as they take on Sayville in their senior night, searching for their first win of this shortened 2021 season. So looks like we have another forfeit, that one in the 138-pound match, as Nick Riley will get the automatic W for the Mustangs. That'll bring up 145 pounds, where the same thing will be happening. Joe Salosia has no opponent for the Warriors, so that'll be a forfeit as well. And that brings us to...
I believe this is 152.
I believe so as well. Brendan Goodrich, Jalen Jacques.
Jalen Jacquez.
Jacquez, my mistake.
Yeah. Jaquez with a nice fireman's carry, but Goodrich fights out of it well.
1:40 to go in the 152-pound match, period number 1. Still no score.
Jaquez looks like he's going to get the 2 takedown, which he does. Catches Goodrich on his back, but unfortunately for Jaquez, no back points. Fortunately for Goodrich, he didn't give up any back points. They'll start in referee's position with Goodrich, the Amityville wrestler, on the bottom position.
90 seconds remaining, period number 1, 2-0. Mount Sinai up in front.
Jaquez looks like he's a leg rider, which is really tough to get out of. I mean, obviously you could see it doesn't look too comfortable for Goodrich. This is going to be it. Okay.
And we get a whistle. And
Jaquez wins by the fall, which will be 16 points for Mount Sinai. So we'll make it a 36-12 score.
So for Jaquez, he takes the loss. Brennan Goodrich, the win.
The opposite. Yep, the opposite.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep,
So
yep.
Amityville gets the win.
No. Oh, that was Jaquez here.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm wrong.
That's
you know
all
what
good.
it is? I'm looking at it backwards.
Well, we have years of experience
Yeah,
of doing this
yes,
together. Actually,
correct.
we've been together for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say about
And I think it's actually going pretty well.
Absolutely.
So that will be the end of the varsity matches here. As we now move to JV, there'll be 4 matches. The 110-pound, which is about to get underway, featuring Benny Franquiz and Nate Santiago for the Warriors. 152, 172, and 189 coming up.
Okay, Santiago with a nice spin behind, gets himself 2 points quickly. He's looking to get that cross wrist. He's got a nice cross wrist, getting some wrist control.
41 seconds to go, period number 1. JV only wrestling 1-minute periods.
Yeah.
Franquiz able to get back to his feet, but right back on the mat. Under 30 seconds to go, period 1. Warriors up in front, 2-0. 15 seconds left. Santiago.
It looks like he's close to giving up one, and he needs to just keep going forward. He'll be okay.
Under 10. Santiago
And,
holding on to a 2-0 lead.
Franquiz needs to pop his head. So far, we're still red on top. Can he hold on? I think he can, and he does. He does. You know, it was a tight situation, but he holds on, keep his 2-0 lead.
Now, what do you look for as a coach when you're watching your JV kids perform?
Well, honestly, I'm looking for them to perform or do stuff they do in the room. You know, I tell people all the time, well, I used to tell my wrestlers all the time and says, you know, you practice all these things over and over and over. Go in a match, try them. You know what I mean? So you want to see your JV wrestlers not necessarily quote unquote taking chances, but trying things they learned in practice, figuring out where they want to get. And quite honestly, I'm looking at their toughness. You know, I'm saying this kid's pretty tough. I might think about moving him up to varsity soon. You know.
It's like period 2, they added that extra minute. So
Yeah, no. A lot of times, what they do with JV, they call it 1-2-2, 1 minute, 2 minute, 2 minute.
he's got a sweat going before period number 2, right?
Yeah.
Still 2-0. Warriors in front. 1:26 to go here in period number 2. It's Nate Santiago and Benny Franquiz for the Mustangs.
This ref is probably waiting, call a stalemate. When he puts his hands together across his chest like that, that's called a stalemate. Kind of like, okay, he's not going to score, let's restart it.
With 1:14 to go in period number 2. Low scoring here. 2-0. Warriors clinging to the lead.
Nate Santiago still riding tough on top.
Under a minute in the 110-pound match here. First of 4 JV matches between the Warriors and the Mustangs. .45 seconds to go. Still 2-0. Santiago in front.
He's looking for a cross-arm turn. If he keeps circling, he'll be okay. One thing he's doing, Mr. Grice, if you notice, he's keeping the Mount Sinai wrestler Franquez on his belly, which means that he is now carrying all of Nate's weight, which, I mean, as you could imagine, puts a little...
Be exhausting, right?
Yeah, it's going to make you a lot more tired.
He flips him out of bounds
Yep.
with 21.3 seconds left, and Santiago clinging to a 2-0 lead.
Santiago's doing a great job of what we call riding. You know, he's not really turning him. He's not picking up points, but he's riding him. He needs to watch that when he comes down with his hands.
5 seconds remaining, period 2.
He looks like he's going to close out this period.
And that'll do it. 2 in the books, 1 to go. 2-0. Nate Santiago for Amityville still in the lead against Benny Franquez. And
now we'll see where the coaches are going to put their wrestler. So they're going to pick, Mount Sinai picks top. So Santiago needs to do his best here to try to get to his feet and get an escape.
now what's the strategy here for choosing top over bottom?
Well, I think what they do is this must be Franquez's strong point. You know what I mean? Wrestling coaches, well, at least I did, always had a theory. Put your wrestler in his best position at least once in the match. Now, if he's great on top, he might get there naturally by getting a takedown. But if he doesn't, you know, you want to put him in a position where, you know, he could succeed.
1:46 to go in period number 3 between Benny Franquez and Nate Santiago in the 110-pound JV match.
What Santiago needs to do is he needs to keep trying to get to his feet. For 2 reasons. Number 1, obviously earn that point. Number 2, if he's laying there, number 1, he's kind of getting beat up a little bit. Number 2, he's putting him in a position where he might get turned, which could be costly to the match for Santiago.
1:25 to go. Santiago clinging to a 2-point lead.
Franquez has got the bar, which, you know, if you're Santiago, you don't want to be there. He wants to try to, what we call, make a base, which is pretty much just getting up to his hands and knees.
Approaching 1 minute remaining in the match. Santiago having a hard time.
Tough. This is a tough position for Santiago. Franquez has a bar and a half. Santiago fought off the half, which was very, very good job.
Now, what does Santiago need to do here? Get his arm out first?
He needs to get his arm. He needs to get to his base. He's, you know, he's not giving any points, but he's very close. You don't want to be this close to giving up points. And quite honestly, it's not very fun to be down there getting beat up. He's in a little bit of trouble.
Well, he has 22 seconds to hold on. He's still winning 2-0.
He fought out of it. He's fighting hard.
10 seconds. Santiago clinging to a 2-0 lead.
That's what's going to be called potentially dangerous. You know, the arm was just in a funky position. Ref didn't like the way it was bent, and referee did a good job by calling that.
And no points awarded on either side on that. So,
yep. Coach Valek giving advice to crawl forward, which is kind of just going to create some space.
And that's probably just because
he's in trouble.
7 seconds.
Yeah, that's it. He's got his 1, so now he's up 3.
And that will do it. So Nate Santiago, quite the effort, especially in that third period there, is he wins this match by a final score of 3-0. So a JV win for the Warriors to get things started. And that will bring up the 152-pound match featuring Joe Caposna and Kevin Molina from the Warriors. First period, 1 minute on the clock. Nobody engaging yet. Both athletes dancing around.
Feeling each other. Oh.
.45 seconds to go. First period. I guess both of these athletes using this time to kind of feel each other
Yeah,
out.
yeah. I was just going to say that. They're definitely feeling each other out, see what opportunities are there. Oh, nice. That's a nice spin behind by Molina. Gets himself 2 points.
The Warriors take the early 2-0 lead, 23 on the clock in the first period.
So what Molina did here was it's called clasping. When you're on top, you're not allowed to lock your own hands. You could grab the other guy's wrists and hands, but you can't grab your own. So he essentially just gave Caposna a freebie, gave him a free point.
So that cuts the lead at half, 2-1. Molina still out in front. 10 seconds remaining in period number 1 of the 152-pound weight class match. Getting some last-minute advices from his coaches. Molina's ready to go. Referee giving some instructions here.
Yeah, Molina's starting with what's called a tight waist, which is kind of a little too far. Oh, he's got to be careful of that clasp there.
And with time about to expire in period 1, it looks like Molina holds on to a 2-1 lead as we get set for a 2-minute period 2 in the 152-pounder.
So now what Molina did is his coaches told him to defer, which means now he'll have the choice in the third period.
So I guess the strategy there would be to put your player in a position of strength in a close match that you have a slim lead.
So we know in the third period, do we got to put him down? Can we put him on his feet? It's kind of like in football when you defer the toss at the beginning of the game.
Caposna crawls all the way out of bounds. I'm assuming that was strategy.
Yeah, that was he's trying to create some space. Molina's doing a good job of holding on. He's just got to be careful with that clasping. Getting him flat, which is great. Caposna needs to start making a base. He's in a little bit of trouble. If Molina could get to the other side with that half.
1:35 to go. Period number 2.
There's an escape now. Now we're tied.
So both athletes will regroup here. 90 seconds on the clock in period number 2. Can you learn enough about your opponent in this short a time to formulate a different strategy?
You could kind of see tendencies. You'll see this guy's leaning with his left leg a little bit more. Maybe I'll shoot this way. But, both of them seem to be kind of just wait. Now, the other guy did what's called clasping. So now Molina will get a freebie point.
But 2 points also awarded to Mount Sinai.
Yeah.
So now it's a 4-3 lead for Joe Caposna for the Mustangs. So we got a reset here.
And Molina will be on the bottom now. What he needs to work on is escaping and getting his 1 point on, trying to take it to the third period with a tie or even get a takedown before the end.
And we get a timeout here. Caposna hovering over a garbage can on his side.
I think he's
sucking some wind.
Yeah, he's sucking blueberries here. I don't think he feels so well.
No, so we'll have to see. I'm sure they'll give him a little bit of time here. But
yeah, this is what's called injury time. This is different than blood time. Blood time is 5 minutes. Injury time is 2 minutes. Now, injury time is a running clock. So as soon as he took that injury time, the clock started. It will stop once they start wrestling again. If he takes another one, it continues where it left off. And at 2 minutes, if you're not ready to wrestle, you will be disqualified and have to default.
So this is going to be tough as Caposna looks kind of ill on the sideline.
Yeah.
So maybe he got hit in the stomach or something.
Yeah,
the wind knocked out of him.
He's definitely not feeling 100%, which strategy-wise, which strategy-wise, Molina needs to say, you know what, I got to do my best to get out because this guy isn't feeling 100%. And that's exactly what his coaches are telling him.
And Caposna would love to get back out there. Right now, he's clinging to a 1 point lead, 4-3 Mustangs in front. We are in the JV matches here as we are under 1 minute to play, excuse me, in the second period. Reminder, right after this, it will be Lady Warriors varsity basketball senior night for the Amityville Warriors, as they will honor a couple of seniors before their contest against Sayville. Warriors looking for their first win of the year, trying to snap a 12-game losing streak dating back to last season. And it looks like Caposna is going to be able to go.
Now they'll start in the referee's position with Molina down. He needs to try to keep getting to his feet and getting a point. Caposna looked like the ref missed it. He was clasped. Molina keeps moving. Caposna rides the ankle, gets him out of bounds. Good job by Caposna, staying on top and doing a good job of riding.
So Caposna looks like he's recomposed himself. Yeah. 37.7 to go in period number 2. Caposna with a 4-3 lead.
Oh, there it is. I guess the ref didn't see it again. So Caposna's doing a great job of riding. Molina moving. A lot of action here, but still no points. This could be back points right here, and it is close.
2 points awarded to the Warriors.
It will be 2 points for a reversal for Molina, but he needs to hang on because he could give up a point for an escape now.
Under 10 to go in period number 2. Under 5.
Looks like Molina's going to finish on top in the period.
And the buzzer does sound, so what was a 4-3 lead for Joe Caposna and the Mustangs gets flipped around the other end. So entering period number 3, it will be a 5-4 lead for Kevin Molina.
With Molina starting in the bottom position, which is beneficial, and this is exactly why his coaches chose to defer, because if Molina gets out, he now has a 6-4 lead. If he doesn't get out, like the match before us, and he kind of gets beat up for 2 minutes, he'll still win 5-4. So it was a very good coaching move. Molina's back at it again.
Yeah, there's 2 minutes on the clock for period 3. We'll have to see if Caposna is able to make it. Caposna is sick on the sidelines.
He's not feeling well.
I give him a lot of credit for going back out there the first time.
Yeah, for sure.
I would imagine his injury time is just about up.
Yeah, it's got to be close. A lot of times what happens is these guys wrestle in practice and they feel great. It's totally different when you get out there in competition. Everybody practices hard, but there's nothing like the real competition. And this is a learning experience for Caposna. He's going to say, all right, I think I got to do a couple more sprints than I originally do.
So here's a question for you. Shortened season, shortened preseason to get ready.
Yeah.
You have to be in shape to play this type of sport.
Yeah.
What effect do you think it has the conditioning of these athletes, not having a full preseason to train and prepare?
Well, obviously it has a big bearing on how they're getting through matches, getting through tournaments and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, a lot of it comes down to the individual. Going out and doing some running and sprints on their own because it's a shortened season. Okay, so this guy chose to let Molina up and gave him a free point, so now it's 6-4.
We are in the third period. I give a lot of credit for Caposna. He's back out there. 1:47 to play. Warriors up in front by 2.
Both wrestlers kind of still seeing what tendencies they got, see what's going on. Still no tie-ups.
Now, if you were Molina's coach, would you say go for him hard right off the bat because he's a little out
of it?
I
don't know if I would do that, but because something like that would happen, I would make a mistake. But now this kid is locked again, so the ref missed it. So we're tied here.
6-6, 1 to go in the third period.
Oh, there's another freebie for Molina. This time the ref caught him.
So that's a huge point with a minute 5 remaining.
That's a very big point, especially now, Matt. The Mount Sinai coaches might be thinking about letting Molina go and giving him that free point again. You know, this is strategy by the Mount Sinai coaches to see what. Yeah, they did it. They let him go and gave him a free point. Because otherwise, Matt, what happens if Caposna clasped again, he would have given up 2 points. So that was strategy by the.
So you
Mount
save
Sinai.
time expecting that he might lose that point anyway.
Correct.
And you put yourself in a more favorable position.
Correct.
As we are under a minute to play here in the third period, Warriors with a 2-point lead. Molina trying to hang on.
Molina's okay in this position. He's got his back to the center. He's not going to get hit for stalling. He's okay there. He needs to stay in bounds. He's okay. Great job of going back to the center, which shows the ref that he wants to wrestle.
37 on the clock. Molina's still up by 2. Caposna's going to have to make a move.
Molina's trying to get his leg back. Caposna's trying to keep that single leg. Molina in good shape. He's trying to spin and get his 2. No points, and now Caposna just got the 2 to tie it up. Can Molina get out?
Under 10 seconds here in the third period.
It's looking like it's going to be out. He got his 1. And that will be the match, Matt. What an exciting finish.
So Molina escapes with 3 seconds on the clock, hopping away from the grasp of Caposna.
Finish. Wow. That was something.
It looked like Molina might lose it at the end there.
Yeah. When he got taken down with that short time, I got a little nervous, but he pulled it out. And you know that brings back to the point you made before as far as conditioning. Just shows Molina had some pretty good conditioning.
Yeah, so the Warriors, their JV squad, doing pretty well here. They're 2 for 2 with 2 more matches on the slate. Right now, it's going to be the 172-pound weight class. It'll be Caden Smith for Mount Sinai and Joel Rodriguez for the Warriors. 1 minute on the clock, and we're set.
All right, Matt, we got a Smith. I think I can pronounce this name.
And a Rodriguez.
Yeah, we're in good shape.
We're doing all right.
Now, these guys are a little different than the last match. They're coming at each other hard. They're ready to go. Both guys fighting for tie-ups. They call this a collar tie. Joel Rodriguez takes a nice shot. He's in good first shot. He's looking to finish.
35 in the books, period number 1. No score.
Oh, Joel grabs onto that leg. Still no score. They're in a battle here.
10 seconds to go, period 1.
If Joel could pop his right arm around Smith's waist, he'll score. If he could just take that, he needs to switch on the legs. Pop his right arm. Oh, he didn't do it. That's okay. Hey. Look at the action there compared to the first match in the first period.
They'll get some quick gulps of air, and then they're right back at it. No score here early on.
These guys are going hard. I love it.
So let me ask you, this is the 172-pound weight class.
Yeah.
These are JV athletes. They're younger.
Yep.
As a coach, if you're developing to the varsity level, 172, they're kind of tall and thin.
Yeah.
Do you see them putting on more muscle and moving up?
Yeah, you know what? It all depends on your body type. Like looking at Joel. Joel is very lean, so I don't know that he's going to go. I mean, you never know kids' growth spurts, but I think he'll probably stay around the 72 or 89 weight class. You know, because like you said, Matt, these kids are still young. Now, Caden Smith is doing a good job of riding. Again, when you ride, you're pretty much just in control. You're not scoring points, but you're in control.
And that body weight on top of you has to make
it
be
wears
exhausting.
you out. Correct. Joel does a good job fighting off that power half by Smith.
1:15 to go. Period number 2. Still no score.
Smith is working his half. Joel is in a little bit of trouble. He needs to try to get his head to the other side. He's doing a great job fighting. Smith's still working. Now Smith is going to get some back points here.
Under a minute, period number 2. Still no
Rodriguez
score.
showing some great toughness fighting. Wow, he's really fighting hard.
The official looking for the shoulders to touch, and we get a pin.
That's it.
That's it. Good effort. That's got to be tough as Rodriguez
know,
in a compromising position.
Yeah, you know, he got caught in what's called a power half. It's tough. it's it's tough. But you got to give Rodriguez a lot of credit. He got put on his back. He didn't give up. He fought like heck, and he looks like he could become some good wrestler here for the Amityville Warriors.
So Caden Smith gets the victory by pin in the 172-pound weight class, and we go to our final match of the day. It's Devin Champagne versus Anthony Rubio Cruz, a 189-pound JV match.
Both guys in that collar tie. Oh, nice shot by Anthony.
Halfway through period number 1, still no score.
Rubio Cruz on the shot, backs out, does a great job defensively. So does Champagne. Am I saying it right? Champagne? Yeah, that's okay.
15 seconds to go in period 1. Both athletes still looking for their first points of the match. Five seconds left, and we get our first 2 points awarded to Mount Sinai as time expires here in period number 1. So Mount Sinai with a 2-0 lead. JV with a chance to get a win today if they can get this match.
Well, we were close because Amityville had 2 victories, each worth 3 points, so there's the 6. And Mount Sinai had 1 victory, which was a pin, which is worth 6. So in turn, this is the grudge match. This will determine who wins the match.
Second period.
Rubio with a nice shot. He needs to keep his body moving. Champagne looking to spin and get 2. Molina does a great job of getting behind and getting his 2 points for a takedown. I don't know why I keep saying Molina. I'm caught up back in the last match. Rubio.
That was a good match.
Yeah, still
The
in my
name sticks
brain. It
with
was
you.
so
Yeah,
exciting.
exactly. And we're all tied up 2-2 here as we approach the 1-minute mark of period number 2.
Molina looking for a half Nelson.
This is Rodriguez versus Caden Smith.
Now here we're Rubio.
Oh, now you have me looking at the wrong one.
I'm messing everything up here. I just need to
Rubio
go
versus
home.
Champagne. Under a minute.
So Rubio's doing what we were saying before. He's riding good. He's looking for that half Nelson, which he could put in, but he's not breaking him down here.
Both athletes able to get back to their feet and then slam to the
nice
ground.
mat return by Rubio.
Still 2-2. 30 seconds to go here in the second period.
Rubio's still trying to work that half Nelson. He gives up the escape. So now it'll be 3-2.
15 seconds left. We'll see if Rubio can finish the round off strong. Under 5 in period number 2.
And it kind of looks like we're going to end this way.
And yes, that's how it ends. 3-2. Mount Sinai clinging to a 1-point lead. And as Mr. Mizell mentioned, whoever wins this is taking home the victory for the JV today.
Yeah, for sure.
Mount Sinai won for varsity, but although they did have 5 pins, the Warriors had some wins as well. So,
and you know what that shows me, Matt? I always used to look at my JV and I'd say, well, my varsity lost or we won, whatever the case may be. I look at my JV. My JV is winning matches. That's my future. I look and that gives me a good sense of how my future is going to turn out, which in this point, nice movement by Anthony Rubio. That was fantastic.
That ties us all up at 3 here in the final period. It looks like it's going to come down to the wire.
Rubio is now getting his offense going big time.
Rubio, 2 more points for the Warriors as they take a 5-3 lead. 90 seconds left, trying to get that victory.
Rubio here is in a position where he might want to let him go. Rubio's feet wrestling has looked pretty good. He's I think he feels a little bit more confident in this period.
65 seconds left.
I think Devin's looking for a headlock here. Rubio's got to watch his head. Yeah, that's what he needs to do. He needs to keep coming forward. Devin with a nice sprawl. Devin with the spin behind and no points yet. Now he'll get 2 for the takedown.
So now it's really going to come down to the wire.
Yeah,
Mount Sinai, they're up by 1, 6-5, 42 seconds left to play in the match. This is for the victory.
Rubio needs to get what's called an escape. He needs to get to his feet and, there it is. Now we got a tie.
Wow, coming down to the wire, 6-6, under 30.
I don't know if I like that shot by Rubio. We could be in a situation here where he's just going to try to hang on. If he can turn the corner, he gets his 2, Matt, and that puts him up 8-6.
Wow, 8-6, 15 seconds to go, and if he can hold on, Amityville JV will get the win. 7 seconds
Anthony
left.
just needs to go in defensive mode here.
8-7.
He needs to watch his head. He needs just defense, and I think he's going to pull it out.
That'll do it. So Anthony Rubio able to get the win, and the JV defeats Mount Sinai, even though the varsity fell earlier. That's a final.
Yeah, that was a great finish. If you notice, early in that period, Anthony Rubio had a nice escape and then a nice shot for a takedown. He felt his offense, and it pulled out and win and paid off for the JV.
And now there's going to be a mad scramble here at the brand new gymnasium at Amityville Memorial High School as they try to get the tape off, the mats put away, and the varsity Lady Warriors out on the court for their senior game against Sayville. Again, we'll have all that coverage for you coming up right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Billy, thank you so much for taking some time
Matt.
with us.
I appreciate it.
It was fun.
It was
I appreciate it. Let's do it again sometime.
Absolutely. I like it. Thank you for having me.
You got it. So, again, don't go anywhere as we have girls basketball coming up in just a little bit. The Warriors varsity wrestling team, well, they fall to Mount Sinai here, but the JV showing strong. They get the win. The future looking bright for the Warriors. Yes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a little bit for basketball right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.